There
Hi.
we go. Tony, lead us off.
Hello, all. This past week, I was getting quotes on getting mirrors coated from Clausing and Majestic, and also reached out to a couple other firms. Telescope getting mirrors coated with standard aluminum is pretty pricey, unfortunately. Clausing is giving a deal if you get a bunch of mirrors coated, $60 for a 6 inch, 75 for an 8. Otherwise, I think it's 75 and 90. That's not cheap. I mean, you're getting these costs are pretty much close to almost, to buying a whole new mirror. It's kind of aggravating that the prices are this high, and makes one consider the possibility of doing our own coatings in terms of silver coatings. I know that in the past, coatings didn't last that long because there was a lot of steel mills and things like that in the area. Nowadays, maybe you might get a year or two out of them, but the cost I think is you can do a batch of mirrors with silver for next to nothing. Is that correct, Mark?
Um, there's a place in the western suburbs. Now I have to remember the name of it.
Yeah, it's gelding, I believe.
Yeah,
Gilding,
yeah. Let me
gelding.
look. Yeah, yes. And
And I
I
think that
actually went there and picked up a kit or two. Mark Christensen was going to try it out. I don't think he ever got around to do it. Um, and then I ended up taking the mirror or two that we were going to go over to Clousing last year. They have it done there. But yeah, that's the let me look up the exact name and stuff.
Angel Glide.
Angel
angel coating, angel
Yeah,
Angel
Angel
Gilding.
Glide.
angel
Gilding.
gilding. Yes,
Gilding, yes.
Oh, there's a
And
thread on cloud.
they're
There's
located
a,
in Broadview, 1945 Gardner, Broadview, just off of North Avenue, I think. It's real easy to get over there.
sure. For a change, we're actually located near something we need or want.
Right.
Yeah. Lalif was going to say something.
no, there's a thread on Cloudy Nights about the silver coating. So it has all the information, lot of discussions. So I think that's you can find some guides from there.
Sure.
Using these kits, also using raw chemicals.
Yes. Years ago, decades ago in high school, I used to do my own mirror coating, and I used the older technique for, um, with which was I think the Brasher method anyhow, and it worked out pretty well. The coatings would last anywhere. Well, the longest the coatings would ever last was 2 years. But this is, decades ago when steel mills were still, putting out lots of sulfur compounds, and so and also I didn't protect the mirrors with any. I understand that there are like there are packing materials and cloths that you can use to extend the life of the silver surface. They're often sold for people who have silverware. So these are like impregnated cloths, and it might be worthwhile to see how that would work. But because I've got to admit, like I said, I mean, I've got probably over a dozen mirrors that need to get recoated, and I don't really cherish the thought of spending $2,000 for coatings. I mean, that's a hoop load of money to get for mirrors, and the thing about it is almost like all your the price for the mirror right now is I mean the coating should not be a major cost of the mirror. The coating should be a small part of the price. I mean, the glass, the substrate, the precision optical surface, those are all the parts of the telescope mirror that have extended value. But the whole idea of spending $400 and $500 for coating a 16-inch mirror is really troublesome to me. I know that Mel Bartles, who made a 25-inch mirror thin blank, he remarked that he was quoted a cost of $1,500 to coat the mirror, and so he has resorted to using the angel gilding method, which or gilding, like whatever it is, but basically spraying the coating on. And he says it lasts. It really is a very reflective surface, and he's getting about a year or two out of them.
But he's in Oregon. Is it drier there?
Yeah, well, certainly, like I said, that will be an issue anyhow. I mean, certainly keeping dew off your mirrors is going to be a big deal. You're in the Midwest. Anyhow, I think that I'd be very interested in seeing if we could maybe pool our resources and do some experimenting with silver coating. Mark, do you know if Mark Christensen has the chemicals? Do you have the chemicals?
Mark has the materials from Angel Gilding.
Okay. Then I think that we probably should reach out to him and see
Yeah.
what we can do. Even if the coatings last a solid 2 years, at 80% or better, that would be worthwhile. Assuming it seems like the new techniques also are a lot easier and use less toxic chemicals than the earlier techniques. So anyhow, I think that's something we should probably be looking at. Or also the thing about it is if we had maybe more people in our group or more people with skills, I know I've got a friend of mine has the parts for an aluminizing machine. He's got a bell jar that's capable of housing up to a 24-inch mirror, but it's right now the
Okay.
machine is just bones.
So Tony, are you going to contact Mark C?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
I will ask him and
Sounds
see
good.
about if he's interested in selling that.
And I cannot remember how I paid for it. I know I went and picked it up. It was a couple, 3 years ago at least. So for me, there's no issue on a price. If I paid for it, doesn't matter. That okay. But I don't remember how we ended up paying for it.
Okay.
What we were going to use it for was the mirror that Bob Butwell ended up with. But we did not do that one.
Mhm.
And then Mark had one, a 4-inch. He did not do that one. So I think we had enough for like 2 4-inchers and a 6-incher. We ended up taking them to Clousing.
Yeah. And like I
Did a
said,
good
I
job on it,
submitted
too.
Yeah, Clousing did, yeah.
Yeah, I submitted a batch of like a dozen. I talked to Klausing and said, "Well, I got a batch of a dozen mirrors." And he said, "Well, give me a list, and I'll maybe give you a break on the price." And the break on the price, yeah, he did give a break on the price, but the prices are still so high. I mean,
Yeah.
$375 for a 16-inch mirror. Otherwise, it's $475.
Yeah.
And Spectrum, by the way, down in Florida, they coat 16-inch mirrors for around $200. So and that's the only problem with Spectrum is they're in Florida, so you've got to pack everything up and ship it down there and then get it back.
Yeah, that's what I like about Clousing. You kind of take it there. You can open it up, although I did not open the ones I got picked up, but you could always have them, tell them hold it for open box so I can inspect it because it's not all for me, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And then you can inspect it and all that kind of stuff. And so, it's a little bit of a trek to go into Skokie, but it's not bad.
Well, not as bad as Florida or
You go early in the morning and the traffic's not bad,
Yeah. Also, there's Majestic is now located in Virginia.
Okay.
So apparently, I'm waiting to get back some quotes from those guys as well. But I got, like I said, so I got prices from Spectrum. Will post their prices, and then Clausing, you have to request a price, and Majestic, you have to request prices too. The prices from Majestic and Clausing were comparable. They were pretty high though with regards to 12-inch mirrors and above, and that's really, the prospect of spending $200 to $400 to get a 12-inch mirror coating is kind of aggravating.
Yeah.
I recall decades ago at the Adler Planetarium, they had their own aluminizing machine, and I don't recall it as being a particularly arduous or expensive procedure. They cleaned the mirrors thoroughly, put them in the machine, pulled out the air, evaporated the aluminum, and they were done. And
You don't go by
that
me because
process,
I had my mirrors coated in 1978 or something. So
yes,
the pricing won't hold for that for sure.
yeah. Well, but I mean, the thing about is the pricing for coating telescope mirrors, as the number of facilities that have offered the surface has declined, the pricing has in fact gone up, and it's
Oh,
not
sure,
because it's basically they know they've got a captivated market.
sure. Good old supply and demand.
Yeah. I know that Mark was saying that when he was doing his telescope making in the Detroit area in the 60s, there were all sorts of shops that had the ability to coat mirrors, and it was just you just drive over, drop the mirror off, and then pay a couple bucks, and you were done. Not anymore.
Yep. And that's what I remember with Klausing at the way back when. It was, yeah, same thing. You just drive over there and no big deal.
Yeah, you did not need to take a mortgage out on your house to get the mirror coated. So, all that comes to mind is I'd like to hear how Lalith is doing on the 20-inch mirror.
Okay, I didn't prepare anything. Maybe I could show you a few photos.
Sure, let me do the share thing.
One moment, please. So I have to open the directory and get it.
Okay, you can do it anytime.
Okay, yeah. In a minute. Oh, I think, yeah, I think I can do it now. Can I share screen now?
Not yet.
Just you. I just see Mark on the big screen right now.
Can I share it now?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, so you
Oh,
see
yes,
the
good.
Okay, so last time I told you about I was finishing fine grinding, so I finished fine grinding. So then I start polishing. So I usually the polishing procedure is on a pitch lap, but now people use these polishing pads to polish it fast. And this is
Lalith, I have a question. Lalith, I have a question. Did you have any trouble with the edges of those tiles becoming sharp and causing any sleeks or scratches or breaking off? No?
No.
Did you have to bevel them?
Well, I beveled them a little bit.
Okay.
Not during fine grinding or coarse grinding. I never saw anything chipping off. So anyway, so I finished fine grinding. I started polishing. So I decided to try this. Actually, I was kind of hesitating because these polishing parts are kind of a fast and dirty method. So especially when you do, people have used it a lot for polishing by hand, but on a machine, it could cause disasters. In fact, it almost happened to me. So this is my grinding tool. Now all the tiles are covered with these polishing pads. So each tile is covered with the polishing pad. Actually, this is the second coating. So the second time I put the polishing pad, the first time I had some problems, so I had to replace the polishing pads. So let's see. So when I was
how long did it take for you to do the grinding and fine grinding on the 20-inch mirror? How much time?
Oh, well, I did, I think, for number 80 grit. So because it already had a F 4.5 curve. So with number 60, I did several hours. I can't remember the number of hours. Then after that, I did about 2 hours, number 80. 120, I did about 5 hours.
5 hours?
Yes, I think I overdid that because I was got confused the leftover grit with pits. So I was keep on grinding until they went away. They never went away because they were not actually pits, just grits seen as pits under the magnifier.
Oh, so you didn't need to do 5 hours. You could have done less.
Yeah, probably would have done less. Okay, so as a result, so when subsequent grades, I did about 2 hours each, all the way to 9 mic turn. Just to be cautious, maybe it is. I may already those grades also I may have overdid it. So I had to put this polishing pad twice. I polished about 2 hours with the first coating of polishing pads. It was not working well, so I decided to replace them. So when I pulling the polishing pad out of the tile, one of the tiles came off. So this is what is left of the tile at fine grindings, 0.883 millimeters thick, starting from about 6 millimeters. So that much has worn away during all the grindings. So this created an additional complication. So I had to put the tile back. So I remove the epoxy on the back of the tile, put new epoxy, and press it overnight while the epoxy cures. So make sure that everything is in the same contact to conform to the surface of the mirror. Otherwise, this will, when you polish it, the tool, it will create defects on the mirror. So I polished. So this is polishing process. So I had a lot of adventures this process. Actually, I almost destroyed the mirror. So when I started, the tool was vibrating very violently when the mirror is rotating. As soon as mirror start to rotate, the tool start to vibrate, then whole machine was shaking. So it got so violent. One time, just the tool disengaged from this drive ring on the O-arm, and tool jump off the mirror and fall on the ground. And there was earlier I was to put weights on the tool here. So the one of the weight just fell on the mirror, 10-pound weight. So I thought that was the end, but for miraculously nothing happened to the mirror, not even a scratch. So it's some dumb luck. The mirror survived. So anyway, so I continued polishing with this pad for about 2 hours. So after 2 hours, I did the Ronchi test. So it looked awful. So you see Ronchi bands are in all variations. So there's some kind of one zone here. There's another zone around here. So a lot of zones. That is natural, I think, with polishing pad grinding, but it was much worse than I expected. So then that is when I replaced the polishing pad with new polishing pads and pressed it again properly and continued polishing. So this is about Ronchi grams after about 4 hours of polishing. It got little better, not much. Still you see a lot of zones there. So at this point, I decided to, because this Ronchigram looks so complicated, I couldn't make much sense. So I wanted to do a Foucault test, knife edge test. I have a Foucault tester which I built about 25 years ago. It works okay, but not great. It is not very stable. It's wobbling, so it's a home machine setup. So I decided to build a new Foucault test for this mirror. So anyway, by the way, this is how. This shows the mirror on the test stand during the Ronchi test. And this is, where is it? Oh. Yeah, this is my new Foucault test. So it's made of all the off-the-shelf parts. Most of these parts bought on eBay. It took about a week to put this together. It works nice. It's worth the effort and expense. Quite smooth. This is something else I have on this Foucault tester. It is very flexible. You can, in fact, this is shown in the Foucault test mode. This is what's called the slitless Foucault test. You know, in the knife edge test, we have slit and slit or pinhole with the light source, and then the knife edge. In this version of the Foucault test, there is no slit or pinhole. Just I have a LED and the knife edge. So the slit is virtually created when this is adjusted. So you can read about it. Slitless Foucault test. It's much convenient, and even it works even better. So this so this is very fairly flexible. I can replace, take this blade out and put a Ronchi grate in there to see the Ronchi patterns or any other test setup. So it's made to be very flexible. Another photo. So this is another feature of this one. I can put this laser distance measure right against the knife edge and measure the distance to the mirror very easily. It's much easier than using a tape or any other way to do it. This is very fast, very easy, and also accurate. So to measure distance to the mirror from the device. So this is a Foucault test after about 5 hours of polishing. This is now, at this point, the mirror is fully polished from center to the edge. You see there's a small hole in the center and the outer region little bit turned down. And there's another large number of grooves. I think these grooves are created by the edges of the polishing pads. So it is polished, but it is not smooth. So I have to smoothen this out using a pitch lap. Hopefully I should be able to smooth this out with the pitch lap. Another ronchigram. This is about 0.1 inches away from the previous one. So you can see here, this is outside radius of curvature, inside the radius curvature, this part. Here, this is outside the radius curvature. So this is right now, so this knife edge is about 150 inches from the mirror. So the focal length is 75 inches now. I started with the 3.8, so now it has become a 3.75 mirror. It's not bad, I think. So this is moving the knife edge another about half an inch. So I was worried about the edge, so I was trying to see this diffraction ring around the edge. So it looks it's okay. The extreme edge is fine. It's not turned down edge. Okay, so these are the ronchigrams after all the polishing. Still you see, with the ronchigram it is more difficult to say what the shape of the mirror is, but Foucault test gives you a better idea.
When do you expect to make a pitch lap, and what type of pitch lap are you going to use?
Well, it's normal pitch lap. I mean, what do you mean by what type of pitch lap?
Well, are you going to use Googles? What number of Googles?
Googles, I think, I don't know. I have 55 and 64. So the basement temperature is around 60. Probably I will mix 55 and 64. And well, I have to experiment it. So that is my next step, making a pitch lap and start pitch polishing. So that is all I think I have to show you today.
Very good, thank you.
So
I really like the new way that it's being done. In my day, when I did this 50 years ago, we had to lean our eye up against that razor edge and remember and take notes and sketches and
so I take pictures.
Now you've got a camera right there. You can take it and measure right off the image. You don't have to lean up there. It's so much more convenient.
Well, another thing with the camera is that the images you can blow it up and so you're not looking at a small, you're not looking at a mirror that's far away. You can actually magnify the image and see imperfections that otherwise would have gone unnoticed or unobserved.
Well, it could work both ways. So there may features you could see with eye which may not be visible on the image. So because you have to have the correct proper camera settings to get all the details. It may be tricky sometimes.
Sometimes it's too much information.
Yeah, sometimes
and you try to overcorrect it so you never get it done.
Okay, I guess I've got a couple things to say about the curve generation and where we were on the 6-inch
okay, I will stop sharing.
Oh, sorry?
I'm going to stop sharing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm done.
So I made a number of tools. I made tools for the 6-inch F35 beers. I made the tools out of both cement and then out of the hydrostone. And both tools fared out well. And the thing that's nice about this is that it's really, really, really dirt cheap. I think that the tools, the cement tool, the one that was made with Portland cement and sand, that one probably cost, I don't know, like $5 to $7, and the hydrostone tool probably cost under
You
$10.
use cement and sand?
Yes.
Isn't sand a problem?
No.
No? Okay.
No. Well, this tool, I was only going to use this tool for experimenting and smoothing out the swirl pattern from the curve generation. And then I was going to go to, different tools. I'm making a bunch of different tools for the 6-inch F35s. And I'm looking also to, I've got, excuse me, be right back.
Sand certainly caught my attention.
I got a bunch of these. These are diamond cutting tools, and they have to work on very high speed. So I'm going to make up a bunch of tools and see if these guys here will provide quicker fine grinding than the current techniques. And so that this is going to be an experiment. These are 6 inches in diameter, and they come in various grades. This is out of focus 100. So
There we go.
anyhow, so I figure I'll give that a try. I'm not
What's that made
sure
out of?
how well
What's
that's
the
going to work
substrate?
out, but it's worth experimenting. And then we're going to, like I said, once we finish with the fine grinding, we will try the polishing pads. Hopefully we'll have some smoother results than Lalith with smaller mirrors.
What are those discs made out of?
This is I think it's a type of you've got diamond grit, and then there's a high strength or high density type epoxy material. And these will only reduce the amount of fine grinding time, assuming that they spin really fast. They you need to really spin them fast. Diamonds work very, very well when they're moving fast. Otherwise, you're not going to gain a lot of speed. So this is, like I said, this is going to be the experiment for the 6-inch F35s. Also, I've got a lot of glass. We've acquired quite a bit of glass. That's around 5/8 and 3/4 inch thick glass, and we've got a number of water jet cutters that we've got numbers for them, and we're going to begin calling them probably next week.
Yeah,
But if
good
anyone
to
has
make
a
you.
lead on water jet cutting, anyone has a cousin or a brother or someone who works at one of those places, let us know.
By any chance, do you have pictures on your computer of the tools, the hydrostone and the cement tool, by any chance? Here.
Maybe I don't know if they're on the computer. Hold on. Well, cell phone pictures. I don't know if this is going to work.
Right, because I was looking at like the cement picture, and I know there's like the gaps between tiles, and there's like a big like air pocket.
Oh,
That's not-
the gaps between the tiles, that was intentional, because I want to be able, if necessary, bevel the tiles and also cut channels. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think it's well. Hold on one second. Let me.
Did you try any grinding with those tools?
Yes, yes, yes. The cement one, yes, the grinding. I started grinding with that, and it was really wonderful because I was grinding with, well, I should have been doing 80, but I was doing 60. And the 60 grit very, very rapidly removed the swirls that were a result of the curve generation. And the surface was very spherical right away. I would say after, so we did the 10, 15-minute curve generation with the 4-inch cutting tool on the drill press with the sine table. And that had that surface was very, it had like a lot of swirls on it. And those swirls were very rapidly removed with 60 grit. In hindsight, I probably would have used 80 grit because I don't want to be, I want to try and minimize the amount of grinding time. So I think probably 3 to 4 wets with 80 grit would have removed the swirls, and the surface was very, very spherical. So that was really nice. I mean, the fact that you could curve generate and get a spherical surface quickly is desirable. And the tools, so far, like I said, I think the Hydrostone tool is probably the pick of the litter, but the main thing is that these just experimenting, having fun. The Hydrostone tool was ready to go, I would say probably after 2-3 hours of having cast it. The Portland cement tool did take almost a week to firm up and be usable. However, like I said, cheapness, they're very, very cheap. And you know, since we're doing this, you know, for fun, and you know, it'd be nice if we could, like I said, also make it very cost effective too.
So on the Portland cement one, how many of those could you make up at a time?
Well, actually,
You
I
could make only one at
I
a time for one mirror.
right,
Yeah.
yes, that's
Okay.
correct, because
Okay.
of the casting. So yeah, so
Okay.
it's one at a time.
Okay.
Oh, and what I was doing was I coated the mirror surface with a layer of wax, and then I heated the tiles and put them onto the wax. I drew a grid pattern, and then painted it with wax, and then I would heat the tiles, put them on there, and then so the tiles would stick in their position that we wanted them to, and then I would pour either the Portland cement mix over that or the Hydrostone, and of course it had a dam of flashing and a hose clamp holding it in place. And it really works out really nicely. It's very clean, very fast. Oh, I also recommend the method for mixing the Hydrostone. The technique that I've seen is to basically take a gallon or 2-gallon Ziploc bag, weigh the bag, excuse me, and then weigh out into the bag a known amount of the Hydrostone, and then calculate how much water you're going to add, and then basically add the water to the bag in the Hydrostone, and then mix that thoroughly, and then basically cut a corner of the bag, and then dispense the Hydrostone onto the tool like you would a pastry device. You know, when you the way chefs squeeze the pastry out. Not pastry, frosting.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
frosting.
Frosting is what I meant to say. So it worked out very well. There was actually no mess whatsoever, and the Hydrostone firmed up after about an hour and a half.
And so, okay, so Tony, so maybe next couple weeks or so, maybe you and I can have a Zoom, and then you can describe this. I'll put it in like a procedure process document or something, so we could say this type of thing.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd be glad to do that part, and then we can edit it. And then, by the way, we have the ATM Groups IO, if you guys didn't know that, and this is where we could start posting these things. So,
yeah. Well, a real big deal is going to be to see how well these things turn out.
Yeah.
I mean, if this makes a big difference in time, that would be really exciting. I mean, theoretically, this, instead of doing an hour per grade of abrasive, this theoretically should be 10 minutes.
Yep.
So, but you know, theory and practice are different, of course. So, let's see. So things are moving forward. I'm always finding lots of glass on Craigslist, lots of plate glass on Facebook Marketplace. The main bottleneck, the main barrier right now is finding someplace that is willing to cut the glass at a reasonable rate. And we would probably cut the 3/4 inch glass into 6, 8, and 10-inch blanks.
Yeah, that will be good.
Now,
Now,
that would be
other-
very, if we're able to get a bunch of blanks cut cheaply, that would be very, very nice, because
Very nice.
otherwise
almost
glass is getting
remember a business
expensive.
like that out near Rockford way back when. I have to really think about if I remember that right.
Yeah, it would be really good if we had, like I said, someone who's got a friend or a cousin
Yeah.
or an uncle or a son-in-law who works at one of these places, so we could get our foot in the door there. Otherwise, they really, they don't want to talk to you.
Yep.
So, I'm thinking that's pretty much it for me. I mean, I've got a project right now. I got in the yard right now. I'm putting a solar screen, a solar projection screen on a 4-inch Celestron refractor, so I can loan that to the school for the eclipse. So I'm working on that right now. And I got to get back to that outside. So I'm pretty much. I don't have anything else to say myself. I don't know if anyone else, but I'm pretty much finished myself right now.
Okay. So Greg and Joe and Nick, are you guys still on? Because what I want to do, I want to share the ATM group thing and make sure that you guys know about this. When Mark Christensen sent this up, I think he sent an email out to myself, Tony, Nick, and Layla on March 6th, saying that he created the subgroup, and then Nick responded to him. So
Right, that the subgroup needed to be, we need to be able to include people from other sites, otherwise not a lot's
yes,
gonna be happening here.
and Mark said we could do that. So what I said to Mark is I said I would leave it up to Nick and Tony and whoever else wants to talk to Mark about getting that opened up. So have you guys joined this group?
I thought that there had to be something done to open, is this the site that's open up to everyone? Because I was unaware of that yet.
Well, no, he did send an invitation out,
Okay,
and then I accepted it and then got in. So
Yeah, I think I missed the actual invitation. Because I was asking about the moderation stuff, but I think I actually
right.
missed the
Okay, let me see what I'll try to do. I will
because we're
I'll send the invitation.
because
I'll find it and send it to you guys.
all right, thank you.
And then Nick, if you and Tony can talk to Mark about opening it up outside of the Fox Valley. He said he could do it. He just needs to know some direction on it. That's all. And then you guys could post like what the stuff that Layla put out there, and I'll post the videos and stuff like that. So you can get this thing expanded a little bit.
I mean, Mark did also say that we auto joined that, I thought too, but because anybody in the Fox Valley Club just kind of gets in, I thought.
I believe that initially the ATM site was only open to folks from the Fox Valley Club.
Right. Which is what I'm saying. We should be able to we shouldn't have to be able to, I thought we didn't have to invite, I guess. Maybe I don't understand. It's a good chance I don't understand it either, so.
All right, well, folks, I need to finish up the project I've got for the school across the street, so I got to get that done as soon as possible. So I am going to sign off. Okay.
Okay.
All right, folks, take care. It's good seeing you here.
All right. Thanks, Tony.
Sure.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Apparently you can just actually just go, it looks like you can just go in and join it. If you go into groups.io directly, and go to, Fox Valley, you can click on subgroups and then you'll see imaging and ATMs, and you can just click the ATM and join it. So I officially joined it. So there's now 3 members instead of 2.
Okay,
But-
well, what I'll do is I'll take the email that Mark sent to me and then I'll send it to you guys.
And so it also looks like, just looking at the subgroup, like files and databases and all that kind of stuff for
Yep.
photo.
Yeah,
There's separate, I'm not sure, I'm sure it counts against their storage for the main group. But there is a separate directory and stuff for the
Right.
ATM stuff.
right. Yeah, it won't be much, but stuff that you'd like to save or like we talked about tonight and stuff. But the videos will be on there too. So
Right. And then
a quick question about the eclipse. So I'm ending up staying around here, and in sequence, I'm giving a presentation at Del Webb on Tuesday night, and then on Friday night there's a Girl Scout group out in Campton Hills. So I'm going to give. They want me at a station, so the Girl Scouts are doing badge, so I'll be at a station and I'll talk about the eclipse there. But they're looking for a couple of telescopes, and I put an email out for that. So if anyone's around, let me know. And then on April 8th, right now, Vic is going to be out at Peck Farm over at Sycamore. Brian's going to be out there. And then I'm going to be up at the Gale Borden on Bowes Road in conjunction with Del Webb. And so, anybody can come out there. So my plan is at the Gale Borden Del Webb eclipse thing, I'll have my 2 telescopes out there and some on table stuff to hand out, that type of thing.
Do we want to put that on our website so people can join it? I didn't realize we were doing all that. I missed the last meeting. So if you can send me the
Well, it's on the calendar.
it's not on the calendar.
Yeah.
It says to be determined on the group title calendar.
On which one?
So when I went to Mark's calendar,
Right.
Okay.
Which one is to be determined?
solar eclipse, various locations.
All right.
Stevie-
Well, I sent him. He didn't update it. Then I sent it to him.
Yeah, so it just says sites to be determined. So if you can send me the info,
Yeah.
I'll get our website updated right away.
All right. Sounds good. I will do that tonight.
Yep. And then that way we can at least let people know, hey, the eclipse, we're at this location and this location if you want to join us, type thing.
Okay. Unfortunately, on the local forecast, it looks like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is going to be rain and clouds around here.
Possibly. And then same
Yeah.
thing. It's almost kind of gonna be the same. It almost looks like it's gonna be the same thing, like in Texas and the same. And
Yeah. It's going to be a big, long front moving through. So who knows? Okay. I'm going to stop recording. Where's that button? First of all, stop share.